大家好，我是戴书轩，我来自英国，欢迎回到我的频道。今天的影片特别适合在英国职场工作或需要用英文参加商务会议的人。作为非母语者，你是不是常常在开会时不知道该怎么用英文表达自己，或者觉得自己的英文不够专业？在这支影片中，我会教你从会议开始、进行中、结束时可以使用的英文句子。此外，我还会分享7个英国职场文化的小技巧，帮助你快速适应英国的做事风格。看完这支影片，你会掌握40多个在职场上超实用的英文片语，无论是日常对话还是开会，都能轻松应对。最后还有一个超劲爆的关于我妹妹的故事，想跟大家分享，不要错过哦！如果你喜欢这支影片，记得帮我点个赞。那我们就开始吧。那开会时，大多数人习惯做一点闲聊，例如说 Did you have a good weekend？ 你周末过得好吗？Did you have a good weekend? Did you have a good weekend? 或 How was your weekend? How was your weekend? How was your weekend? 这是一样的意思。或简单的 How are you doing? How are you doing? 就不是 How are you doing? 是 How are you doing? How are you doing? 就是你今天好吗？你今天过得好吗？也可以说一个 You right?这是 Are you alright 的缩短 You right 也是你最近好吗的意思。如果你想了解更多有关英国的闲聊方式，你可以点这里看我有关闲聊的冲刺课程。那为什么是这样呢？我们来看一些有关英国文化的小技巧吧。第一个小技巧是有关 relationship building. While following a strict process might be less important, building rapport and trust with colleagues is crucial. 有些文化可能更注重于我们按照规则做事情，而不是那么的注重于我们之间的关系怎么样。如果你在英国的职场上完全不 care 你的同事，这可能会给人不好的印象。所以多询问有关他们的生活，或是表示你的感谢，有礼貌的说事情，其实这些都很重要。因为大部分人在上班时想要有好的关系，想要有又开心又顺利的合作，而不仅是为了做事情，不仅是为了工作。第二件事是 emphasis on achievement according to the culture map. 这是一本书。British culture leans more towards goal orientation than process orientation. This means they prioritize achieving results over strictly following a set procedure. 那这里是做拼写，这是因为我写的是英式拼写，可能还没有调整我电脑的设定，所以其实这是正确的英式拼写。所以基本上有些文化他们会注重于我们的事情要做的正确，从这一步到这一步到这一步，理想情况下每一步骤要做得好。但是在英国更像是，如果我们能达到目标，那是最重要的事情，我们如何做不是那么的重要，这会如何影响到你在英国职场该说的事情，这一点我等一下再给你介绍。那因为建立好的关系在英国职场那么的重要，所以好的经理他们会经常跟你安排一些特别的会议 ，a catch up 或 a check-in， 他们想知道你如何 getting on。How are you getting on? 意思是你的进展如何，你最近怎么样？他们想知道你有没有 stuck， 你有没有遇到任何的问题。Are you getting stuck with anything? 工作会太具有挑战性吗？那当你跟你的经理有这些 regular catch up 或 regular check-in， 他可能会说 How have things been? How have things been?最近过得怎么样？ I just wanted to catch up and see how things are going. I wanted to touch base and see how you're doing. Touch base 是跟你有接触，与你联系。How's your workload feeling right now? How's your workload feeling right now? 你现在的工作量怎么样？ Curious about your progress on blah 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 project. So curious 是好奇，我只是好奇在这个项目你过得怎么样？我只是好奇在这个项目你的进展如何？ Any roadblocks on your end? 你那边有遇到什么障碍吗？Roadblock 障碍，这让我可以提到第3个有关英国文化的小技巧，这是有关 hierarchy 等级制度，不是 hierarchy。 British work culture tends to be more egalitarian， 这是平等的意思，跟 equal 很相似。Although there is still respect for authority， 人们仍然尊重权威。我们说的是职场上，而不是学校政治，这些可能不太一样。但是在工作时，你还是一定要尊重权威。Decisions are made with input at various levels, and communication can be more informal. In contrast, East Asian cultures often have a more hierarchical structure with clear deference to superiors。 因为我们的等级制度比较平等，所以这会影响到我们的说话方式。你会发现大多数的同事不是那么的 show deference 表示尊重。那因为这个 hierarchy 的不一样，所以你可能会发现，即使你是一个没有很高地位的人，但是你的上级还是会想听你的意见。你可能还没有很习惯这样跟你的同事们分享你的想法，但是在英国很多人会欢迎这样。在英国，如果一个团队的合作方式是董事告诉经理要怎么做，然后经理再告诉副经理等等等，很多人可能会觉得这不是一个很好的公司，因为他们比较落后了，有一点过于严格和管制。最近的管理趋势是如何让人们充分的发展和工作，而不对他们进行太多限制。对很多人来说 ，a hierarchical structure 会有很多限制，所以这是为何你会发现全新的公司，他们通常有一个更 egalitarian 更平等的制度。所以会议进行时，你可能会听到哪些句子呢？Brainstorming and putting our heads together is commonplace. Brainstorming 集思广益 ，putting our heads together 一起想到办法 commonplace 很普遍。所以当人们想要求别人的想法或是意见或是反馈时 ，What do you think？你怎么想 ？How do you think we could do this better? How do you think we could do this better? 所以当你的经理问这个问题，他真的想知道你的想法。Do you have any ideas? 如果你是刚开始在这份公司工作的，如果你的想法是全部都改，那你最好要先慢慢来，这样会比较好。Feel free to chip in with your thoughts. 这里的 chip in 就像提出 ，chip in 也有另一个意思是提供帮忙。Like, I'll chip in with that. 我来帮你做。如果你想提出你的想法，你可以说 How about we? 然后动词，比如说 How about we try using a different software? How about we test it again? 所以这里是 simple verb。你也可以说 What about if we? 然后就加一个 past participle， 像 tried。tested 这样 What about if we stopped using that piece of code? 也可以说 What do you think about? 然后 verb ing 或是 noun What do you think about using a different method? What do you think about the latest release? What do you think about the idea of changing the system?那在这里我想提到一件我认为是很重要的事情，那就是 Brits tend to get annoyed by too much bureaucracy. Overemphasis on rules and regulations will bother most people. Most people want to do things the best way they can think of and will happily follow the rules if they make sense. But if the rules and regulations seem unnecessary to them, they might not be happy. 给你一个典型的例子，我有一个英国朋友在日本公司工作，他觉得他们的做事风格很麻烦，因为他没有习惯。在英国，你要做事情，你可以提出你的想法。如果听起来像是一个更好的想法，大部分人很愿意调整这些小事情。很多人会愿意调整他们的做事方式，对他们来说，规则不是那么的重要，是小事情而已。但是当然不是每一个文化都这样，尤其在东亚洲，做事的过程算是一个蛮重要的事情。不过我还想提到有关合同的重要性。When starting a business negotiation or collaboration, most Brits will want a contract.Contracts are seen as sensible and precautionary and not a sign that they don't trust you. The contract lays out the agreement between you two and prepares the ground for a good collaboration. In some cultures, contracts are seen as unnecessary, but not normally in the UK. 如果你刚认识一个新的同事，一个新的合作伙伴，然后他真的很要求你很快的跟你做合同，这是很正常的事，这是给你表现出他是真的想跟你合作的，而不是随便说事情而已。这样你们俩可以觉得很安全，继续合作的时候就更有可能不会有任何的问题。那我们来看第4个文化小技巧吧。这是有关 flexibility. Brits tend to be adaptable and willing to adjust plans as needed. 这就像我刚刚提到的一点。那如何提出一个新的方法呢？ Do you think we could try doing this a different way? I was thinking we could look at the data. Do you think that sounds like a good idea? 所以最好你要说一个完整的句子，而不是说 OK 就好。Like 我想我们可以这样做 OK 吗？这样可能会太直接。要说一个 I was thinking we could blah blah blah. Do you think that sounds like a good idea? 或是 Do you reckon it would be worth exploring something? 这里的 reckon 是另外一个方式表示想，像 Do you think 也可以说 Do you reckon? 所以你可以看到有一点委婉，虽然我们很愿意调整，但是理想的还是要有礼貌的提出你的想法，对不对？当然还是不要那么的直接的说话。有关不直接的说话方式，你可以观看这一部影片来了解更多有关这个很重要的文化特色。 我们剩下3个英国文化小技巧，我想先跟你分享我新的项目。In the next few months, I will have a new British course being released. 那这个新的有关英国腔的课程是影片课程，也很适合初学者。The course will be mostly in Chinese, and I will have a co-host with me. If you're interested in signing up for this course, you can be the first to hear. Just sign up with your email down below. 连结在下方. You can join the waitlist now. And the other project I have going on is a day workshop about British culture in September. This will be a full day of learning about British culture, such as business English, accent training, newspaper reading, food tasting, and many more activities happening over the course of one day in September. Again, if you'd like to be the first to hear about this, sign up with your email address using the link below. This will take place in London. So we still have a few months to wait for those. In the meantime, do you know about our group tutorials? 我们的小组课程非常的适合中级到高级水平的同学们，这是一个全面的方式可以提升你的英语能力，尤其在口语、听力、阅读和语法方面。If you are a general English learner and you need to learn English for any purpose, it could include work, it could include study, it could include just as a hobby, then right now this is the best way to keep your English going, to be progressively building your vocabulary, learning useful phrases that native speakers use, and talking to native speakers about cultural topics every week. These classes are fantastic. Over 90% of the students continue beyond their first month. 有兴趣的你，立即使用下方的链接，立即报名下个月的课程。然后我们回来我们第5个小技巧吧。就像我已经提到过，英国人的说话方式不是很直接，我们习惯用一个委婉的方式说话，更多的信息在那边。Brits tend to be more indirect communicators, relying on subtlety and avoiding confrontation. East Asian cultures can be more direct and prioritize clear, concise communication. 不过我发现台湾的说话方式还是算很委婉哦。So you might hear phrases like, I was just wondering if we could. 这基本上是 can you 的意思，所以当你想说 can you 的时候，尤其如果是对一个你不是很熟悉的人，你可以说 I was just wondering if you could。还有 do you think it would be alright to 是 can I 或是 can we 的意思。Do you think it would be alright to change the meeting? Do you think it would be alright to do this a different way? 所以当你想说 can we 你可以试试使用 do you think it would be alright to。 也有一个 would you be able to complete it by this date， 这差不多是 can you complete it by 的意思，所以 can you 也有 would you be able to， 也可以这样说。 Questions might begin with could you tell me, do you know, or I was wondering, and the rest of the sentence follows statement structure and no auxiliaries. For example, could you tell me what time the meeting starts is good. You can't say, could you tell me what time does the meeting start? 这是错的语法，要按照一个 subject-verb 的结构。我想跟你分享一个有趣的有关我的妹妹的故事。我的妹妹22岁，她刚开始工作，她做的工作是在 HR 人力管理这方面。我妹妹做的工作好像都很不错，没有任何的问题。有一天，她的经理安排了跟她有1对1的沟通。So her manager took her to one side and said, "There's something I need to talk to you about. Your work is all great. There are no problems with what you're doing, but I have noticed that at 5 o'clock each day you tend to go home. I'm not sure if you've noticed." But the rest of us in the office, we tend to stay and we do overtime work. 你好像准时5点回家，但是我们都会加班。So I just wanted to let you know that in this field, it's a good idea if you can show people that you're really committed to this job. 然后我的妹妹不敢相信，我的妹妹觉得超惊讶，因为她是年轻一代的人。这个经理他应该是想帮助我的妹妹，但是这个经理他可能已经年纪较大，所以这是以他的方式来帮助我的妹妹，但是我的妹妹那一代绝对不能接受这样的工作方式。Because from my sister's perspective, she was doing the job that she had been assigned to do, and that was written in her contract that she could leave at 5 p.m. So my sister did not see any need to work beyond 5 o'clock, especially if she was getting all the work done that needed to be done. And the manager was not saying she needed to do more work. She was just saying you should stay behind after work work and do extra time. So this is a totally different thinking between different generations. In Gen Z, the new generation, they are most importantly looking for flexibility in their work. And so what happened is that my sister found another job. 我只是认为这是一个有趣的故事可以跟你分享，因为我妹妹会告诉很多人说，你不可以相信我的经理有跟我说什么，他是这样对我说的，我们都不敢相信，我们都觉得超惊讶。为何呢？我们来看第6个文化特色。Work-life balance. The British place a higher emphasis on work-life balance. There's a stronger focus on taking holidays and adhering to standard work hours, usually 9 to 5, Monday to Friday. East Asian work cultures can be more demanding, with longer hours and an expectation of putting work first. 所以你会发现在英国的职场，你周末的时候可以好好过周末，你的老板不会去找你。如果你的老板在很晚上时想跟你联络，或是在周末时想跟你联络，这通常算是一个不好的老板。但是一个重要的一点是你要看领域，还是有很多的领域是非常的 competitive, like law, finance. 我有听说他们的工作环境很有竞争力。And the final cultural tip is about decision making, which is similar to the egalitarian structure. British decision making can be more consensual, 双方同意 with a focus on discussion and finding common ground. 可以同意的一点。East Asian cultures can be more top-down, with decisions made by superiors and then relayed to lower staff. So here are some phrases that are used to find a consensus. Find a consensus, 找到一个大家都可以同意的方法。What are everyone's thoughts on this? Does anyone have any concerns? 有没有任何的忧虑呢？ Are there any alternative suggestions we haven't discussed? 还有任何我们还没有提到过的想法吗？ Alternative, 其他的 suggestions, 建议 we haven't discussed, 我们还没有谈论过。Can you elaborate on your point a bit more? Elaborate, 详细说明。Just to be sure I understand, you're suggesting, 所以为了确认我的理解，你在说的是to check for agreement, 为了确认大家都是同意的。So it seems we're all on board with. On board with 是同意。Is there anyone who feels strongly against this idea? 有没有人很反对这个想法？ Finalizing a consensus, 确认最终的决定。Has everyone had a chance to voice their opinions? To voice, 提出你的意见。If so, I think we're ready to proceed. 如果有，那我们可以先进行。Unless there are any strong objections, objections 是反对意见。Let's move forward with this decision. 我们先进行吧。Let's move forward 到下一步。And finally, we come to closing a meeting. 会议结束时会使用哪些表达呢？更正式的是 Right, that seems to be all we have time for today. Thanks everyone for your contributions. 感谢大家的贡献。更非正式的版本 All right then, I think we've covered everything. Cheers. 谢谢。I think we've covered everything. 我们聊过所有的事情。Righty-ho, that's all from me. Thanks for your time, folks. Righty-ho 是一个可爱的很随性的表达，说哦，好的，那先这样。那 folk 是人们或是朋友们的意思，是非常非正式。那最后我想提到，如果你想对对方表现你期待你们俩的合作，你可以说 Looking forward to working with you on this. Seems like this should be a great collaboration. 也可以说一个非正式的是 Let's smash it out the park. 这大概是尽我们所能，全力以赴。Let's give it all we've got. Let's smash it out the park. Now, if you want to smash it out the park with your English, don't forget to sign up for the 2 waiting lists and to join our group tutorials. 记得报名英国腔的影片课程，还有 British Culture Day Workshop in London. 此外呢，别忘记报名下个月的小组课程。最后呢，如果还没有订阅，麻烦你帮我订阅一下哦。We can't wait to see you. 我们下次再见。